I'm Ed Orcutt, your state representative from the 18th District. I represent portions of Cowlitz and Clark counties, including Camas, Washougal, Salmon Creek, Battleground, Ridgefield, and LaCenter, up through Woodland, Kalama, and Toutle to the county line. I'm reporting to you from the 2012 legislative session here in Olympia. We received some positive news recently in our updated revenue forecast. We're expecting about $96 million more for the biennium, but only about $32 million of that is due to our economy. And our caseload forecast shows that less people are using state services. Our budget shortfall is now expected to be around $1.1 billion, down from about $1.5. Hopefully, this news will help keep tax increases from being part of the overall budget solution. However, I continually try to remind legislators, the media, and the public that we can't get lost in the numbers. This session has to be about more than just the budget. We have to implement policies that will help the private sector create jobs and get Washington working again. I made several comments during the revenue forecast meeting and later on the radio about how we need to focus on job creation. If you want to watch the council meeting or listen to my interviews with KOMO's Ken Schramm or KTTH's David Bose, visit my website for more details. I'm also very pleased to announce that the House Republicans introduced the first budget of the 2012 legislative session last week. During the special session in December and earlier this session, members of my caucus met for hours discussing our principles and better defining our priorities. Our budget approach was to create an all-priorities budget that funds education first, protects public safety, and protects the most vulnerable, all without increasing taxes. I'm proud of the leadership shown by my colleagues and the work we've been able to accomplish in putting that budget together. Being in the minority and still putting out a complete budget proposal is no small feat, but in the end, we felt we needed to show the leadership the public has been demanding from those who represent you here in Olympia. And now, with about 2 weeks left in the 60-day session, we've finally seen the first budget put out by the House Majority Party. I have serious concerns about the sustainability of their budget proposal. They continue to kick the can down and push the budget problem into the next biennium. And they do it with an accounting gimmick, shifting nearly $400 million in payments into the next biennium. This means before budget writers even sit down next year to write a budget, we'll start with an additional $400 million in the hole, and that's on top of the $900 million deficit we're already expecting in that biennium. That'll put us to a $1.3 billion deficit. This doesn't seem to be a responsible way of budgeting. They also cut several vital services for our most vulnerable, including a program designed to help our developmentally disabled find work and live independently. Again, if we're prioritizing our spending, don't those who are in need of our help through no fault of their own take precedence over having another scientist in a stream somewhere? Another issue that has me greatly concerned is an apparent end run around the voter-approved 2/3 vote requirement for the legislature to raise taxes. The majority's budget makes severe cuts to local government, but then gives those local governments the councilmanic authority to raise your taxes to buy back those cuts. And they can do this with a simple majority vote. In other words, instead of trying to make the case for a tax increase at the state level, which I don't think there is a case for, here where there would be a 2/3 vote requirement of the legislature, they cut funding at the local level and then rely on local taxes being raised. Basically, they're saying, oh, we're not raising your taxes, all the while where they're telling local governments, here, you go ahead and you go raise taxes there. The effect is the same, you pay more, and that's wrong. If that doesn't violate the spirit and intent of the many initiatives limiting the state's ability to raise your taxes, I don't know what does. They talk tax loopholes? Well, here's the real tax loophole, and they are very quick to exploit it. It was great to see so many of you at our recent 18th District Town Halls. Senator Joe Zarelli, Representative Ann Rivers, and I had a great time answering questions and discussing the issues that are important to you. And I want to give you a big thanks to all those that were able to make it out to our town halls. And as always, I invite you to contact my office with your questions and opinions about legislative issues that concern you. You can use my direct line, 360-786-7812. Again, that's 360-786-7812. use the toll-free hotline, or send a message by email. And don't forget to check my webpage for news, and while you're there, you can sign up for my e-newsletter. Again, I want to thank you for joining me. I'm Ed Orcutt, your state representative.